Another nice row of silage bales to sell when December/January comes. Hello, farmers. Welcome back to East Vineland. We are now in the month of July, which is grass cutting time. Every 3 months, yeah, we got those 3 grass fields that we do for contracts, plus our own fields I need to get to. Yeah, so these silage bales right here came from one of the contracts I done this morning. That's why our money is up to 47,000. Got to pay like 20 grand for the grass field, and a couple of bales did sell. And this is what the remainder of the bales are, right on there. Before we get started on anything else, I did get to checking on the fields across the street here, where our future farm is going to be. So if we go into the map, no, those are animals. Speaking of animals, they need some grain from the contracts I'm going to be doing today at some point. Maybe not all this episode, but at some point. Yeah, across the way, so we're up here, right on up here. So if we go to farmlands, field number 5 should sell for well, it does say 541,000, but there are no buildings on the land itself because we're on start from scratch. So I went on New Farmer, I think it's what it's called, when all the buildings are on there. I bought the land. I sold all the buildings that are on field number 5, or lot number 5. On lot number 5, there was a cow barn, which you can kind of see in a way. Let me scroll on in. If I go and click on that, yeah, you can kind of see this is the cow barn right here. So by selling the cow barn, I think this was a manure silo right here. And over here was, I think it was a shed. If I sold all those and got the money for it and subtracted that from what the farmlands owed, this land with no buildings on it should go for roughly 264,000. So we're probably going to do that. Moving on over to lot number 123 right here. You can see it sells for 423. That was mostly sheds, the silo. I think it was like 3 sheds, a silo, maybe a fuel station, and a couple of other small things. But after I sold those buildings and subtract that from what the property, quote unquote, is selling for, 423. Let's see, that should this should make this lot about $201,000 right there. So we'll probably get ourselves a deduction when we buy these pieces of property at some point. Field 138 sells for $190,000. That has a sheep pasture on it. So if I sold that, yeah, the lot should go for like 123. So I may give myself a discount on that as well. So with that being done, the other thing I did a test on is right up here. This is a solar field right here for lot 131. Sells for, we'll just say $420,000. Now, it didn't matter if I was an easy economy or hard economy. I was getting the same amount from the solar panels. So now it may vary what you get per the hour. We're only playing 1 day per month. So I don't know if you have 2 days per month, if the hourly is going to be different. But on 1 day per month, this solar panel field right here gives you $3,000 per hour, which equals to $72,000 per month. And if you want to know what it can bring in per year, that's $864,000. At first, I was like, that's too much. But I tested this first and then started looking at the land over here and started realizing all the money I need just to buy the land, to put down more sheds, a silo, and it's like, you know what? I think we're going to save up first and buy the solar panel field. So my goal right now is to get up to $420,000. We're sitting at 47. Not too worried, but like, you know, as we know, when December, January comes, I got all the silage bales that are going to be here. We're going to make a whole bunch of cash then. So that is my goal for now. So now what's been going on the farm? Well, last episode we planted soybeans down here in our new field. That is looking rather good. Those soybeans have grown. These are in like the second or third growth stage. And the soybeans down there in the other field, you'll see in the second. Yeah, you can kind of see it's greenish down there. They have all grown and they're looking rather good. Now, one more thing I did look into was I talked about buying some diesel fuel, bringing the diesel fuel up here, turning on the generator to make electricity to sell the electricity. Well, looking at it, for me, it's not worth it. Right now, the wood turbine makes about 600 kilowatts an hour, roughly. Wait for it to get there. There we go. So yeah, we're making about 600 kilowatts per hour. I get $200 for the 600 kilowatts. So what, for whatever you got for kilowatts, 1/3 is what I get. So looking at the, where's it, the diesel, 10 liters of diesel make 25 kilowatts of electricity. So if this was 1,000, this would be 2,500, right? So 1/3 of that, I'm getting roughly about $800 for every 1,000 liters. For every 1,000 liters of diesel, I'm going to get $800 worth of electricity. So then we come up to here. If I go buy diesel, if I buy at the gas station, it's $1,250. If I buy at the multi-fruit buying station, it's $937. That turns out to be a loss. So for me, it's not worth it. Just remember, though, we are in hard economy here, so that could change if you're on medium or easy. I didn't look into that far, so I'm not going to buy diesel fuel, bring it on up here, and start the diesel generator to make electricity. Just isn't worth it for me to do that. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of testing in between episodes, as you can tell, and checking on some things. Yeah, my grass fields do need to be cut. I'll probably do that off camera. I'm not too sure when I'll get to that. The sheep are making milk. We're up to 530 liters. And the sheep are at 60% reproduction. So I think in a couple months we'll have 20 sheep running around. And then once we get enough milk here, we'll go ahead and sell that. I did come back up here because I did want to check to see how we're doing on the hay situation. Because I am doing a hay contract this episode. And we got plenty of hay. Alright, now we can go ahead and get ourselves to work after getting all that taken care of. So now, just to summarize here, we're saving up to get $420,000 by the solar panel field, and then every month, just by, I don't want to say doing nothing, but we'll be getting $72,000 a month from the solar panel field. So in a matter of like 4 months, that's enough money to buy like a New Holland T8 or whatever we need. So it's going to add up quickly along with the other things that we're doing. All right, so yeah, I'm doing contracts today. And there's another thing I want to bring up here in just a moment, but I need to get to my fast track. So I already got this hayfield cut and tedded. Just need to be windrowed. And today we get to see, this is the Vermeer baler. I don't know if I can put this on follow me, if the bales will just spit out the back. Or is it going to stop and the worker is not going to be able to handle it? Not too sure. But what I want to show you today is, and this is what I was kind of talking about before about contracts, is it worth it? There is a mod out there, and I wish I knew about this earlier. It's called Better Contracts mod. And the mod is made by MMTRX. It is on the Giants Mod Hub. It is for Mac and PC only. Let me just turn off this really quickly here. So what we can see, oh, the other baling contract has appeared. Please be silage bales. Ted it and bale it. So that's straw. Sorry, that's hay. Well, in a way, it's fine that it's hay because I already got all the material, all the equipment I need, so I can just go and accept it. And yeah, I don't have to release anything. So that's good. But anyways, on this Better Contracts mod, I always talked about, is it worth it for doing it? And I've done a few contracts testing on it out. So you can see all the active ones I got up here. Baling. So you can go, let me just go to a harvesting one. Let's see, what field am I on here? Let's go to field number 80. I haven't touched that at all. So if I turn details on, it'll come up here and it shows more details. It says, yeah, we're harvesting canola. I haven't harvested any of the field yet. This is the amount of liters I need to deliver to complete the contract for delivery. This is the price that the canola sells for. And by its calculations, these are all estimates, by the way. Profit from harvest. It's saying I'm probably going to get somewhere around $2,000 worth of canola off the field myself. And this little number right here is a nice little number to have. Profit per minute. So I'm going to get like $200 per minute working on the field. If we come over here, you can see where it says 6866. That's what the contract is offering. And if they add in the profit from the extra harvest, I'm basically going to bring in $87.45. That's if I don't lease any of the equipment. So this is the kind of stuff I was looking at before. Like, is it worth it? Is a harvesting contracts worth it? As for like baling contracts, same thing. Look at the baling contracts. Profit per minute, 502. Now, the other thing we got to take consideration, like the harvesting contracts, when it says profit per minute, like 217, this contract here, I'm expecting to get like $1,500 from the contracts. That does not take into consideration the mod that I have that allows me to pick up the straw from the contract. So we can add that in here. Now, I did, late in the month of June, I did a contract for cultivating. And it was pretty much spot on. Oh, the other thing I didn't show you in the contracts as well, it should say the estimated time to get the job done. Should it not? Work field delivery to go. Or is that when it's showing you... Oh, so before you accept it, it'll tell you estimated time to do this contract says 28 minutes. Harvesting field number 4, estimated time 22 minutes. But it doesn't show you that once you've already accepted it. So if you're wondering how long a contract may take you, like field number 45, that's going to take me roughly 20 minutes. So that's a nice little detail to have. But yeah, I did a contract for cultivating, and it was pretty darn close to the estimated time that it was going to take me. So that was kind of nice. So I have yet to use this Premier baler. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I do want to put this on follow me. Why are you... I'm not hitting nothing. It's just backing up on its own. Why are you spazzing out? I'm not stepping on the gas, brake pedal, nothing. Could be my dead zone of my steering wheel is a little bit bad here. Bale size 180. Let me turn on the baler. And hopefully you're going to follow the JCB fast track. That's the plan. Let's hop over that. Hop over that. Okay, that's ready to go. And are you following me? Can you handle that? I'm going to say the Vermeer should be able to handle that. Let's go along here slowly and see how it handles it. Oh, good. I could almost pick up 2 rows into one. Okay, I did something wrong here. Oh, wait. Did I not lower the pickup? I have never used one of these, so I don't know how it works. Yep, I did not lower the pickup, so let me go. Alright, I'm stuck. There we go, I picked up some of that. There we go, I can't get out of that little mess. I have not used this before. I have not even seen it in action, so I don't know what it can do and what I should expect from it. I know it can go at a decent speed here. Well, it's not picking up the whole swath. I thought it would, being that wide. All right, let's see how the worker does. Let's try this again. It doesn't help that I'm missing some hay myself. So they're going to stop to drop off the bale, right? That's all good. That's fine. Because I think he can go much faster than I can in the windrower. Now, usually when I do hay contracts, I have myself mowing, and workers follow me to ted it, a worker to follow me to windrow, and of course a worker follow me to bale it. But the windrower that I got is so wide, it was going to cause problems if I had all the workers going together. So, no. We're going to do it separate. So now with the plan, saving up the cash to go ahead and buy the solar power plant, if you will. So by like December, January, we should easily have the money then, if we don't have it by then, to go ahead and buy that. And then the money would be coming in at a decent rate, for sure. I mean, I think we've been going at a decent rate so far. But I think it's time to pick up the pace a little bit, because when I was doing the testing, I was looking at like the property values, how much a huge silo goes for, how much sheds go for, and of course we want upgraded equipment. It's like, that's when I was like, all right, I probably should buy the solar panel field, or it's going to be such a very slow process at that point. Yeah, it's starting to feel slow to me now. As for you watching, I don't know if, you think it's been slow. Some people said, oh no, we're going at a good rate. So it's hard to judge. What everyone's going to be different, what they feel like. But I think it's time to up the production a little bit here in the farm, and I think getting the solar panel field first to bring in 70 grand a month is going to be very nice to have. Plus, it'll allow me, once we have that, I know I've been saying it for a while, to stop doing so many contracts off camera. We'll be able to just get that 70, because I'm not doing, well, the months we do the grass fields, I can do like 70 grand a month in contracts. But other than that, 70 grand a day / month to do contracts, it doesn't really usually work out that way. So I won't have to do so many contracts in between episodes to get a little pile of money and help us creep forward a little bit. I would love to have the $420,000 before we sell the silage bales in the wintertime, but we'll see how it goes. But as for today, the month of July for the grass fields, like I said, I got one of the grass fields done. That was for silage bales. We got this one right here, and now the other one has popped up, so I'll probably take that. And I'm going to see how this Vermeer actually is doing. I'm actually surprised it's stopping that far back, but as we can see, it's got to stop every time to unload a bale, which is fine. But I think the working speed on that is quite impressive from what I saw in the stats about a month ago when I was looking at one. I think the problem is we got the swath of hay is so large. Yeah, it is zooming around that corner rather well. I may have to go around and pick up some pieces later on. I am going to sell all the hay bales today. I'm not going to keep any. I'm not going to keep them around for a better price. Let's go ahead and sell them. And that's why I was looking at the sheep. I was trying to see if the sheep needed more hay bales, but I think we're doing fine on hay bales for now. I got enough to get me to the month of October when these grass fields come back up. Yeah, so I may actually have to go around this field twice. The Vermeer, the pickup on the Vermeer is not picking it up as well as I was hoping. You can see it's leaving pieces here and there. So what I may have to do is go around, get the first pass done, go around, pick up the hay bales, get the ones delivered, and sell some more. And then once all the hay bales are out the field, I may have to go back around, and then the swaths will be a little bit smaller, and then the Vermeer should be good enough to pick up the rest. Well, I'm going to go ahead and motor around here. Hopefully the Vermeer can keep up at a decent pace. And we'll do the first pass, pick up the bales, like I said, sell them, and I'll probably finish this contract off camera. Because I do want to get to a harvesting contract that I started a while ago. And I want to finish that up with you guys. So I want to see how the Better Contracts mod is showing us about how much extra grain they expect us to get out the field. So I want to see how that goes. But anyways, I'm going to finish this up. Well, finish the first pass up. And then we'll get on over and do some harvesting. This field sure is a mess, but we made a lot of hay bales. Not sure what I think about the Vermeer as of right now. Just that the swaths are just too big for what it can handle, it looks like. But I suppose if you got yourself a harvester and you're harvesting a field and it's doing straw, it'd probably be very good. Although I wonder how it would handle like the headers that are 60 feet wide, because that'd be like a lot of straw it's going to leave behind in one swath. Don't know. The working speed of that though is 20 miles an hour. I had to look it up on the store page just to see what it was, and it is 20 miles an hour, so it's not that bad on working speed. I'm gonna go ahead and park this right over here for now. Gotta remind myself to be kind of careful. That field right in front of us, that's our field there. So if I were to drive in it, crop destruction for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for the Vermeer to get done because it's on follow me, so it's gonna follow the JCB. I just want to make sure it stops. When it gets done, I'll have to go through the field one more time. Don't know how many bales I'll get off the field. Maybe 3? How many liters are these things? These are 18,000 liters, so 3 bales. That's quite a lot if I can get that much off. Sometimes it's hard to tell when looking at a swath actually how much is there. We've all been there. You see a little bit left over. It's like, oh, go grab it. It looks like a good amount. Then you get done. It's like, oh, I had 60 liters in that swath. You know, not really worth it sometimes. Alright, you can be done. Turn that off right there. Yeah, it should be good for now. I'm not going to complete this contract anyways because this is all the equipment that I leased for doing hay on this field. Now that the other contract is up, I don't want to complete this because I want to use all the material, all the equipment on this contract for the other one. I just realized I hope that this trailer can grab these bales. I have a habit just, you know, making the biggest bales because making bigger bales means less bales to transport, right? Looks like they'll be fine. Oh, good. It's picking them up. Yeah, it's picking them up. I got to bring them to the bale sell point south. That's where these hay bales need to go. Definitely going to have more than one trailer. Yeah, eventually I would like to buy this trailer right here, swap out our autoloader, and get this one here. This is the one I originally wanted to go for, but the other one came up for sale that day. So that's what we bought. This is an auto loading trailer, and the one that we got is an auto loader. That's the way I'm going to define it. Well, I'm going to go around, pick up these bales. I'll see you down at the bale sell point south. We'll see if we complete the contract. But I am going to sell all these bales anyways to bring in the cash. And I don't need any. The sheep that we have are currently fine. Should be able to make it to October. And I can always change my mind because I got another grass field to do to make hay bales. So 24 bales at 18,000 liters apiece. Is that going to be enough to complete the contract in one trip? I'm guessing somewhere around 12 to 15 bales are still on the field. My guess is it's probably going to make it like 80, 90% complete. Something like that. Well, no, it could be surprised. Well, the money's already going up. How about that? So the contract is complete, and I got $3,000 worth of bales already. Now, this is the one thing I realized on the other grass field I did with this Better Contracts mod. So, where is this contract? Oh, it already went over to here. So, yeah, I should have got paid. The base contract was, because you see over here, $24,573. And it was estimating with the additional we would get off, it would only be like a couple grand. I've already gotten that, and I got tons of bales left. So, there are some things I'm seeing with the Better Contracts mod, even though it's giving me some good information. some of the other information, especially on the grass field, seem to be way off on the additional material you're getting out the field. Anyways, wait, before, I may not want to bring the grass, or sorry, the hay on down here. Where is hay being best? What's the best offer right now? Well, south. $51 south, $49 north. So, $2 more. I'm going to be a penny pincher until we get that solar panel field. Let me go get the rest of the bales that are on the field currently so I can get all the bales off. So that way, when I go back around and clean it up, it makes it a lot easier. Well, I guess 12 to 15, and 15 was the number, so that's what we have if I squeeze between that telephone pole and that car. Now we gotta squeeze in here over the slurry pump. As we saw, it's like $50 per 1,000 liters, so not a great amount of money, but it's still gonna be decent. I mean, I can't do the math in my head right now, but 18,000 liter bales, and we got 15 bales. Still comes out to be $14,000 worth of hay right there. Getting us up to 64,000. And I didn't even collect on the contract yet. And I got more hay sitting on the field. Well, that's enough grass work for now. Let's go ahead and finish up a harvesting contract that I've already started. I think about halfway done there. Been delivering some grain. So, see you over in the field in just a moment. And here we are. Yes, there is a silage bale over here because, well, it was kind of left over from the grass contract that I did this morning. And here we are. Another JCB sitting over here. JCBs must be on sale today for contracts. I'm not too sure. So we do have our class area on here and our baler making beautiful, beautiful straw bales, which I'll be selling later on. Let's go ahead and get you on follow me. We got a class Tryon up there, the 720. Yep, we got ourselves a worker. Looks like Frank is ready to rock and roll. Ooh, I still got some grain in here. Yes, almost had a full trailer when I delivered it. So this contract here is another contract I believe I'm leasing from right here. Yep, so I am leasing it. That's the other thing. I'll tell you over here if it's leased or not leased. You can see these are active, but I did not lease nothing for it. Up here, this one says leased. $8,027 I should get from the contract, minus the leasing fee. And it's expecting us to get about, we'll just say $2,000 of extra crop off the field. And that's why I want to see how it works here. Didn't work out too well for the grass contracts, but that's fine. I want to see how it does on the harvesting contracts. So right now, this is the only barley contract that I got going. I will admit, I was kind of excited when I took this contract and borrowed the items because on the contract page, I honestly thought I was getting a class Lexian, which meant a bigger header, which meant faster work. But then when I jumped into it, I'm like, this seems a little bit too small to be a Lexian. And yeah, I think it's pronounced Tryon. I don't think it's going to be Treon. I think it's going to be Tryon. Still a nice piece of machinery, just the little brother of the class Lexian. So a good amount of harvesting contracts I got to do after this. I think it's 3 more. Be done with all this equipment right here. I may actually, since I got the Vermeer for the hay contracts, I may actually have that equipment follow me to do the straw bales. Only reason because our baler is doing 125 centimeter bales and the Vermeer can do 180. So it just makes less trips back and forth to wherever I'm selling the straw to. And it will be putting wear and tear on my vehicle, my tractor and equipment. So it looks like by the end of July, by doing all these contracts and by the time I get them all done, we should be over $100,000 in the bank account between selling the straw bales. Well, just the 2 grass fields alone Yeah, we should be over 100,000 right there. I'm going to guess like 110, 115, somewhere in there is where we're going to be getting to by the time this month is over. And you also may have noticed I'm running at half-time speed today. If you look up in the sky, it's kind of cloudy. It's supposed to rain somewhere around 2 o'clock. So I got like 3 hours left. By running half the speed, it now gives me 6 hours. I should be able to get a lot of the harvesting contracts done. It is supposed to stop raining somewhere, I think around 8 o'clock at night in the evening, so I guess if I don't get any contracts done, I could be harvesting in the dark. Unless, because I don't think I've had the situation yet, is it like in Seasons in 19 to where we have to wait for the crop to dry after it rains? Or is it still like the old base game to where once the rain stops, the crops are not considered wet, they're dry? I think it's going to be like the base game to where once it stops raining, we don't have to wait for them to dry. I don't know. Don't know. Go ahead and unload that. Those are some of the features I liked about the Seasons in 19 to where you really had to prepare yourselves a little bit more. They could have made it a little bit more challenging. So if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, if it rained in 19 and you had the Seasons mod on, depending on the wind and the weather conditions of the day, sometimes it could take about 4 or 5 hours after it rained for the crop to be dry enough to harvest. So you had to plan your farming accordingly. I think the only time I really had an issue with Seasons in 19 with drying was in Griffin, Indiana. I think it was our first fall. I was trying to make some hay in our grass field, and in 19 with Seasons, you just didn't there was grass moisture, so you just didn't do what you do here where you cut the grass, ted it, and it's immediately hay. Depending on the grass moisture, you either had to ted it or you didn't really have to ted it. And then you had to wait, like, depending on the weather, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours sometimes in good conditions for the grass to turn to hay. Well, I tried doing it in the fall, and the weather conditions weren't the greatest. It almost turned to hay. The grass was almost dry enough, and then it rained a little bit. So that meant the grass would get wet. Then you had to wait longer. And long story short, after 3 days, my grass never turned to hay, and then winter was here, and I lost basically all the crop, because also in 19 with Seasons, there was decay. Meaning if you left your grass out in the field long enough, it would slowly decay like it would. So, I got, as you can see, a little bit more of this field left to go. I think I'm going to just put this into a time lapse. I do have to deliver the grain up to the grain point north. So I'll be cutting across some farmers' fields when I deliver. I'm sure I'm going to fill that trailer at least one more full time before I get this field done. And then hopefully in our last delivery, I want to see how much grain we get off the field and sell it to see how close the Better Contracts mod is doing on the harvesting contracts for grain anyways. So let's speed it up, and with the time lapse, probably would only be like a minute or so, and we should be done, I would think.
You're playing your cards with your queen of hearts. When everyone folds, your fork still holds. You're placing your bet, showing no regret. Close your eyes to hide your lies, roll the dice. You got me tiptoeing around you like you're made of glass. Got an invincible fence you're talking rude. You're playing a game, driving me insane. Your heart is back, and it's a fact, no turning back. You got me tiptoeing around you like you made of glass. Got an invincible fence, letting everyone know not to trespass. But you're bound to break down, bound to lose, bound to get knocked right out of your boots when I use my witchcraft. When I use my witchcraft. Come on.
I think the field we just did is the biggest harvesting contract I have taken for today. But now I want to see better contracts is saying I'm going to get roughly about $2,000 from crop. I'm going to guess like 3.5. Because usually that's what I've been getting. Somewhere around there. Doesn't matter what crop type it is. I'm usually getting like 3.5 grand. Not much more than that. We'll see here. Barley doesn't sell for that much, as we know. And I think I was at 92% of the contract completed for delivery. So let's see what we got here. Money's already going up, which is good. So 2,607. So not that far off. I'm not going to collect on the contract because that's the one I leased the combine on. So I need that to do all the other fields. Speaking of which, where's the next field I need to do so I can drive this JCB and trailer on down there? Sometimes it's better to do farmlands. It's easier to see the numbers blink. I thought they blinked on that. Maybe they don't. Okay. Field 31 looks like is my next target. So I'll have to head on down to field... Oh, sorry, not 31, 91. Head on down there. Park this on up. But I'm probably going to taking care of those hay contracts next off camera. But not too bad. We got ourselves up to $67,000. And hopefully by the time we get to the next episode, I'll have pretty close to 100 grand sitting in the bank account after doing those hay contracts and completing all the contracts that we're currently doing. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in East Vineland. But until then, have a good one.